close if they stick with those characters, man. It's gonna bring a show for everyone involved.
And as we get right into it, we're going to see that Vortex Ditto as we get into this match right here. Starting off on Brawlhalla. Both of them playing crossovers too, but yeah, it should be very interesting. We do see Luna get started here with the gauntlets. My goodness, look at that damage. It's absolutely tearing it up. Oh my god, this isn't even Jetbean's fault for why Luna's down here, but they're just in the path. They're in the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, Luna's definitely going crazy when it comes down to that Vortex, and Jetbean is already out of that very, very first stock, man. And dude, Luna is just going crazy within the first 30 seconds of this round.
I just made a soft, hey, isn't it funny that the 8 seed knocked him out? And what can the 7 seed do? And Luna's not even letting that potentially be a storyline. I'm trying to create an experience for the viewers back home, and Luna's like, no. I've got a different experience for you. Put this on the big screen. I'm taking Jetbean to the movies right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and right now, man, I mean, we're going into a minute in. Luna's entire stock lead over Jetbean. And I think Jetbean's definitely going crazy, but he hasn't been against Luna so far in this bracket to really adapt. And like you were talking about, those first rounds, those first stocks going against an opponent is really how you adapt. But Luna does go and get knocked out of the first stock. Can Jetbean bring this back into their favor?
I mean, they definitely need something to convince me that they're still very much in this game. And that is a good way to kind of establish, hey, whoa. Like, you definitely got a quick wake up here from Luna, but now we got the edge guard situation there. Oh, the dunk sending them down, and Luna maintaining that strong lead.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, we're going into it, and I think Luna's just really holding it. Originally, Jetbean were starting to come back there a little bit, but Luna really reassured, saying, hey, I'm here to go ahead and have this lead. But as they say that, Jetbean locks Luna into the orangey red, but Luna's just making rebuttals against it. We're seeing Jetbean start to have, take that advantage away from Luna, and Luna's like, you know what, let me make it back a little bit. Let's make it into that entire stock advantage for me. And right now, Jetbean does go and pick up that scythe, throws it away, gets the gauntlet side air onto Luna, and Luna trying to get some sort of knock-in option on Jetbean, but Jetbean's just trying to do the same as well. That neutral air falling down. That downlight will go and land by Jetbean onto Luna, but Luna is able to come back to that platform. It's very close to see if Jetbean's going to have an opportunity of making it one stock all here, but Luna's got a huge lead over Jetbean.
Yeah, this is actually a really scary spot to be here, because even if Jetbean does find a way to close out this stock, I mean, Luna's still in such a strong position, as we can see right there unfolding from our very eyes. But every time Luna gets that opening, right, they get that advantage. They just tear it up to a level that we haven't really quite seen today. But you know what? That's what happens sometimes when you are the big dog in the bracket and you get sent the losers a little bit earlier than anticipated. You just start awakening the beast within, and that is certainly what Luna's looking like. But Jetbean is certainly trying to let him know, hey, you are not immortal. But Luna's saying, you know what, maybe I am.
Yeah, and right now, man, I mean, Luna is just going absolutely crazy going into this round, really showing his history of being a powerful player. And while they are on that loser side of the bracket, I mean, they're just tearing through it at the moment. And Jetbean's having a difficult time really countering how Luna's really approaching. It really is. And Jetbean's trying to throw attacks there. But Luna's already one step ahead. I mean, even with Jetbean going with that neutral air towards the second stock of Luna, Luna was one step ahead. Already had attack thrown out to counter Jetbean's counter, right? The counter of the counter is what Luna's throwing out right now there, Skip. And it's going to be interesting going into game number 2. And we're going into game number 2 with Luna already a half stock lead over Jetbean.
Yeah, I mean, Jetbean is definitely doing a bit better here, right? They've slowed down the pace of the game, which honestly is huge, because we see how Luna works when you try to play at their pace. They just execute a little bit better than you do. But Jetbean now in a tougher spot, all right? Potentially could take a stock here. Oh, wait, but Luna with the weapon toss, getting their weapon back in hand. This could be huge for JetBean, but does not find the conversion they need, but gets it there. Beautifully played. And we're going to see them with a stock lead. Honestly, I'm a little shocked just because of how strong Luna came out, but JetBean is certainly here to play as well.
Yeah, and as we go ahead and get into it, I mean, right now we see Luna down to that second stock, and JetBean kind of is turning this around. We know that for turning things around, especially going against Luna, and now things are even. Can JetBean kind of take this advantage where they can take round number 2 to make things even here? I mean, that's definitely where JetBean wants to be. He does not want to be down 2 rounds against Luna, especially with how he plays as a player and how powerful of a player that they are. And we're going into it back and forth, and Luna just really has to control the game so far.
Yeah, that was actually a fantastic weapon toss into the pummel there just to try and get a little bit of damage going, but JetBean was able to find a way to wiggle out. But yeah, you would not believe that right now, the way that Luna is absolutely tearing them up from one side of the stage to the other. But there we go, JetBean again still trying to find ways to slow this down. Beautiful call out, just was not able to convert in a stronger way. Wait, they could close out the stock here. And they do, they get it. Beautiful stuff from JetBean. And now Luna, all of a sudden on the back foot. We really weren't expecting this, but JetBean's just playing phenomenal.
Yeah, and this is huge for JetBean. This is what I was talking about. JetBean has a really good, when they're in the right mindset and the right momentum going against Luna, they can counter them very, very well. And this is really showing their gameplay. Right now, almost an entire stock over Luna. This is definitely where JetBean really wants to be. But he's got to be careful of these knockout options by Luna. The more damage build JetBean gets, the more of an opportunity they'll be able to knock out Luna on that final stock. But Luna does go and get the knockout as we get into almost into the 4-minute mark. And JetBean now has Luna on their final stock in the orange, while JetBean's just barely touched on their final stock.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out because, I mean, like I've mentioned, JetBean's been doing a fantastic job of just slowing down the pace. A lot of it comes down to this scythe. You can control so much space, control where your opponent is at any point in time, but where things start to really mess up here. Okay, Luna's starting to let him know, hey, dude, I can play scythe just as well, but finds a way to get the wall touch. They're staying alive for how much longer? Oh, my God! JetBean! Oh, baby!
Dude, the turnaround from JetBean, getting that dare in the backward dare, getting that punch on the Luna, realizing the mindset Luna would be off that ledge was very powerful, and JetBean really controlled round number 2. The mindset that JetBean had in round 2 was way better compared to the first round, and JetBean was just warming up from what we're seeing. So we'll have to see how round 3 goes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's exactly what we want to see too, because man, Luna came out so strong in that game 1, right? We saw exactly the type of pressure they were bringing to the table, but to see JetBean answer back the way they did. Oh, wait. All right, I'm not sure what's going on here, but we will figure this out in just a moment. Either way, man, that game 2 ending was insane. Watching JetBean do their thing, just absolutely tear it up at the end. Man, that scythe gameplay was so beautiful, and I felt like it could have been either player's game at the end. They were both getting these edge guards, counter edge guards. It was just absolutely insane stuff, but that's what I love to see in this type of game.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning of this set. Both these players are powerful, like Mordex players. I mean, they know Mordex to a point where when they're going against each other, it comes very, very close. And it may not seem like it when it came down to round 1, but as we're going into round 2, seeing JetBean do what they did to Luna is a powerful thing of what happens when you change your perspective and your mindset. And I definitely want to see what happens in round 3. I want to see how close it is and who kind of has that advantage, because that will make the rest of this set a very interesting thing to watch. If one player has that advantage, or if it's going to be close, how is round 4 going to go? How's round 5 possibly going to go? And I don't know. I like these players' play styles a lot, and JetBean just had that momentum going in that second round. But we're already going into round number 3 here. The players are ready to go, and it looks like Luna is going crazy with those gauntlets on the JetBean, and my gosh, our thing is going crazy.
Yeah, this is actually kind of insane, and also keeping that weapon starvation 30-second knockout here on the dot, man. Luna, a lunatic, honestly. With the way that they've been playing here, I mean, that game 2, Jeppy did really well, but the fact that Luna's like, it's like they took a break almost in game 2. Like game 3, just a different beast once again. I mean, Jeppy could certainly answer back as very soon here. We do have Luna in the red, but these guys hopefully taking their time trying to figure things out. And man, I do not want to get into a gauntlet fight with Luna, but Jeppy rising to the occasion.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I mean, this is closeness in the perspective of it usually even at the stocks. Every single stock, it's a back and forth, back and forth. And right now, it's pretty sticking even. We see Jeppy now in the orange in second stock. Luna's now in the yellowish orange. And Luna's starting to pop up a little bit, but Luna's momentum is definitely in their favor at the moment. Jeppy's really having a rough time keeping their feet on the ground properly where they can counter them. And Jeppy does go and get that scythe nair. Gets that neutral into neutral signature. Luna's still alive after that and might have an option for Jeppy to punish, but it's so close to the second stock. Jeppy with the signature, and Luna is now down to that final stock. And this is going to be a really close game number 3.
What a slick punish there, huh? Just kind of dancing around, baiting Luna into an aggressive option like that, and now having the lead. You know how crazy it is to lose a stock in 30 seconds, and now you are maintaining the lead here. Okay, it was a little short-lived, but you still got a little bit of something, right? But I mean, damn, man, you gotta hit Jeppy. They have no fear fighting Luna here. They see, hey, listen, I understand that you were #1 PR rank, but I do not care. Do you hear me? I do not care. But now we're getting into the gauntlet fight here. These guys throwing hands, throwing haymakers, and only one of them can take the lead here, 2-1 in the set. And man, these guys are just absolutely beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, they really, really are. It's not like this slow gameplay back and forth. They're being aggressive as much as possible. They're showing their momentum and their speed and their just mindsets here. I mean, they're already one step ahead of the other opponent. And Jeppy gets the neutral signature knockout on the Luna. And Jeppy is up 1 round over Luna in the loser side of the bracket. If Jeppy gets 1 more round to their name, they're in top 8 and they knock out PR1 out of this tournament. This is a very big deal for Luna if they want to go ahead and go in the top 8. They need to win 2 rounds in a row, Skiff.
Yeah, this is so tough, man. But hey, this is what champions are made of, and Luna is no stranger to winning championships, right? I mean, it's gonna be a tough way either way. Like, even if you do make the comeback here, I mean, that's not where the comeback ends. You got to go through the rest of losers bracket and try to get all the way up there. But man, yeah, this is certainly tough. I don't know if we're gonna see a character switch or something. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm trying to figure out exactly the words I want to say here, because that was an absolutely wild match to watch.
Yeah, and that's that was interesting, to say the very least. A very, very interesting round. And I think right now, if you're Luna, you gotta be like, okay, what do we do in regards to this? How do I counter what Jeppy's really doing? Do I stay back a little bit, try to be a little bit more parry, or do I even be more aggressive? And I don't know, it's coming down to really trying to read Jeppy. And Jeppy's taking these reads, he's taking this mindset advantage a little bit. What can Luna really throw out here? Because I mean, Jeppy's throwing these attacks out one weapon attack ahead of Luna from some of the stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing Luna throw it out, but Jeppy's already has something to counter it, and we'll kind of have to see what happens going into game number 4. But look at these statistics here in regarding the graph. I mean, like I said, it is usually it's back and forth, but Jeppy got knocked out of the first stock and kind of popped off, knocking out both the first and second stocks of Luna, and then finally Jeppy lost her second and just really had that momentum to really push out Luna on that final stock. And that was a very interesting back and forth gameplay from these players, and very interesting. I mean, it was like a 15 damage difference. I think Jeppy did 517 damage while Luna did 531.
Yeah, I mean, but when you kind of pointed out that graph too, you actually see the difference of how early those stocks are being taken, right? Luna's stock, the stocks that they were taking were definitely a noticeably higher damage output than Jetbean's were. Jetbean was finding a a quicker and faster way to eliminate these stocks. They're being that much more efficient, which explains a lot like why they're up 2-1 at the moment here. But hey, game 4 coming up. Luna, hey, you got to show us like what you're made of, man, because this is looking really tough for you.
Can I just bring up last round, Jetbean had 99 dashes. that's almost double what Luna really threw out. And I think it's just because of how much momentum they were just trying to build up to counter Luna. They had to almost double their momentum to counter what Luna was throwing out. And it's kind of mind-boggling to see. And as we go to this map that has a lot of platforms back and forth, we'll see how those platforms kind of change the gameplay under them and around them going into game number 4. And it's a lot of trading right now going into this game.
Okay, right now, I mean, we do got those gauntlets in hand. Both players have the weapons they prefer in hand at the moment, so we should be seeing a lot of crazy damage. They're knocking the scythe out of Jetbean's hand, now picking up a scythe of their own off the backboard. Call him Tim Duncan, and they're cleaning it all up with the ground pound. What a beautiful first stock here from Luna.
And that was a perfect read as well, with Luna getting that there, trying to go for that weapon there. They knew Jetbean did not have any more options to get back that platform other than what they did, and they took pure advantage of it with that gravity cancel down like ground pound. And right now, Jetbean's like, all right, you know what? I need to get this knockout on Luna. I need to make sure it's fast and easy. Silent recovery, lands it very well. It's a little damage build up there by Luna on the Jetbean, but relatively even, and has to be careful of really now approaching Luna off that ledge, especially with the options that Luna really countered with.
I mean, we do find it evened up here, but this is where that scythe comes out. Oh my goodness, Jet was going for some crazy stuff there. I mean, thankfully Luna found a way around it, but look at this. Like, look at the damage between these two. This is so even at the moment in a game 4 scenario where Luna needs to find that W to stay alive. This is so crazy. There's so much tension here, and I'm not even a part of it, man. I'm just watching.
Yeah, we're just watching, and the amount of pressure that we're feeling from just watching this gameplay is mind-boggling here. Silent recovery by Jetbean! That is what you call a reversal, and Luna's down to that final stock. While Jetbean is on the second stock, they are pretty low, and there is a possibility for Luna coming back, but Jetbean just went crazy, and Luna just went crazy. He's now completely even on the final stock into game 4.
You know what? I feel like the people at home were absolutely royally I'm trying to think of the word. There's one word I can use, but I'm not trying to use it. Anyway, it's disappointing that this is not a match in top 8, right? These guys are just absolutely bringing a show of shows for us right now. And the fact that this is to make top 8 is on the Luna side of things. It's so sad, man. I would love to see this at a higher level, but either way, I'm excited I get to cast this one right here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And this is definitely going to be a powerful rounds here. And Jetbean just feels like, I feel like they have a lot more control going into this round. And these platforms are throwing Luna off a little bit. And we're seeing it here. Jetbean does go ahead and get that gauntlet recovery. And gets a side 2-piece and just stunks on him. Knocks him out off the ceiling. And there you have it. Jetbean beats Luna 3-1, knocking PR1 out of the event before top 8. What just happened there, Skiff?
Yeah, you saw it at the very end with that top man. Jetbean is balling. All right, like there's no two ways around that. Jetbean just absolutely going crazy, and it's insane to think about too, because we saw some of the crazy combos that Luna